Hi guys, it's Stu here from 3B, and in this video we're going to look at the standard settings that your Samsung TV comes with for games. So what we'll do is we will use the remote. We've got a PS4 Pro and we're going to go special viewing mode, and then we're going to turn game mode on. And then we'll exit out of that, and then we'll play a bit of Horizon Zero Dawn, and we will look to see how that is, and then we will calibrate the TV for game settings, and then see what a difference there is between the standard game setup on a KS8000 to the calibrated game setup for the games for the KS8000. So we'll play a bit of Horizon Zero Dawn. So game mode. I actually completed this yesterday. Now, as impressive as that may sound, don't be, because I completed it, and the only way I could complete it was on story mode. so that's the only way I can complete games these days. So we'll choose, say, we'll continue we'll use New Game Plus. And I'm going to go story. I'm sorry. And it will give us an idea of something that we can compare to. So I imagine that the beginning is going to be the same. So it allows me to sync up the two videos so you can watch them side by side easily. But I really enjoyed this game. If you haven't got it and you've got a PS Pro or a just standard PS4, thoroughly recommend getting it. It's a great game, really enjoyed it. Almost got very similar feeling to what I did with The Last of Us. Not quite, but similar. But it is tremendous to look at. So just to remind you, we're using just the standard game settings on the TV.
Rost!
We'll turn her down. She's a bit loud, isn't she?
Rost! Rost!
She's a bit loud, isn't she?
Where is he? 2 days before.
The cutscenes in this game are all in engine, so there's no video. So yeah, we'll just sort of spin it around a little bit, see if we're getting any blurring. It's a bit blurry. But yeah, I really enjoyed playing this game. I think it looks tremendous.
He said we'd go hunting this morning. Why isn't he here?
It even looks pretty good on just the standard Samsung settings that they have for the TV. We've not calibrated it yet.
What's he doing up there?
But it does look pretty good. But we'll do a comparative
Standing there.
look between. She won't shut up, will she? We'll do a look between the standard settings that we have here and the calibration, and then you can make up your own mind.
Aloy, you're here.
Did someone forget we were supposed to go hunting this morning?
No, I did not forget. But I've been thinking about your training, Aloy. You learned to hunt, learned to survive. But I fear there's a lesson I failed to teach you. Would you learn it now?
Of course.
And this should be in HDR too, so we'll just look at the settings whilst it's playing.
Opportunity to learn this lesson, but it will be dangerous. You must
See,
come
what is
prepared,
interesting,
or you will die. Descend into the embrace and hunt until you have gathered the parts for fire.
it hasn't come up with, if it's at HDR, usually the backlight's at 20, so
You will meet me there.
that's interesting. We'll just check something with the other remote control.
Now be on your way.
I can see, it doesn't say it's HDR, which is very interesting. I thought this was a HDR game. Now, perhaps someone can correct me, but I really thought this was a HDR game. Okay guys, well these are my settings that I use for 1203.6. I've calibrated the TV, and even though I've calibrated, there's still a bit of fogging, as you can see, sort of blurring when I'm moving around a lot, which is an annoyance really, and I know is a problem being reported by a lot of people with this TV. And very similar TVs, it's just something you really can't avoid too much. Having said that, all the other settings I use I'll go through right now. So if you prefer this as to what you see in terms of color and brightness and everything else, as opposed to perhaps the overly colorful, too punchy images that you get from the standard game settings, then please look at these settings as follows. So the settings are, first of all, we have it on movie, and we don't select any special game mode, because all that does is it turns off a ton of processing. Then we go to expert settings, and we have the backlight at 20, brightness at 48, contrast at 100, sharpness at 0, color at 50. We apply that to all sources. Digital clean view is off, and analog clean view is off by default. Automotion plus is off. Smart LED we set to high. Film mode is set to off by default. HDMI UHD color is to all sources. HDMI black level is set to auto, that's default. Dynamic contrast we set to off. Color tone is warm 2. Now, I had posts, people comment before that they feel this is too yellow. You can easily change it to warm 1, which is more of a blue tone. As you can see, it does change it somewhat. But warm 2 is closer to SMPTE standard. White balance we have on 2 point, -7, -6, -8, -1, -1 and -4. On 10 point, at 100% we have -1, -3 and -8. At 90% we have -7, -6, -8. At 80% we have -12, -9, -7. 70%, -10, -9, -6. 60%, -8, -8 and -9. 50%, -4, -3, -1. 40%, -3, 3 and 10. 30% we set at 0, -1, -1. And 20% we set at -11, -11, -13. And then finally at 10%, -13, -14, -15. We set gamma at 0. Color space we set to native. And those are the settings for game using a PS Pro. If you're using an Xbox One, or an Xbox One X, you can start off with these settings and then tweak them. When I am getting an Xbox One X, and I will be doing the settings for that using this TV also. So please look out for those. Any questions, please do let me know. But of course, if you prefer the standard game settings for that the TV sets itself at, then that's entirely up to you. But I prefer a less colourful, sort of artificial. I prefer a more natural rather than a less artificial, too punchy colour view, to something that's more of a natural looking, real world feel than sort of the overly punchy colours that and too much of everything in lots of ways that game setting on the TV set tends to set it at. So if you find this video useful, don't forget to comment. Let me know which you prefer, whether you prefer the standard TV settings for game or these calibrated settings for game, and let me know your thoughts. If you thought this video was helpful, then don't forget to subscribe and become part of our wonderful little community. Okay guys, thanks very much. Bye bye. Love clicking things? I do, you do, we all do. Why not click some more things like the subscribe button? Or in fact, there's a bell button. How exciting! These mythical buttons make numbers grow and alerts appear like magic. Do it now and be part of the wonder of the interwebs. How about another video? Look, it's there. Lovely new video to watch when you're done clicking. Yummy.